What's up, man? All right, I'm here again, man. You know, dropping another video, man. Um, man, interesting times I live in right now, man. A lot's been racking through my head, man. Couple updates. I got my nose pierced. You see that? Oh, got the ear. I'm such a sexy ass nigga. I got my nose pierced. I'm out of weed, bro. I'm out of weed for today. That shit sucks. So, yeah, I've been sober all day. This is a sober video going on right here. And fuck, man, this shit sucks ass, bro. I'm so bored sober, man. And you know what's crazy, bro? I was thinking about it, you know, and if you reflect back to my previous videos, my dream when coming here was to like have homies that like to go out and do shit and have fun and just experience life, man. And then my other goal was to get a fucking baby girl and shit. And you know what, man? I've completed both of those goals, I think. So my friends do like going to do shit. Of course, okay. Granted, I'm not going to fucking huge parties and fucking all that shit every weekend, bro, like motherfuckers do. I'm not a big party nigga, honestly. I mean, it's okay, but you know. But yeah, bro. I mean, I like looking at parties and shit, and like I think the atmosphere is cool. I fuck with it, but I don't know, man. I don't know if they're my thing. I don't go to them too often. I don't really know anybody like that who does. So that's one thing. And then yeah, man, I've just been learning, building my knowledge, man. Learning a little geography stuff. Fucking learning econ shit, man. I've been learning a lot of econ stuff. I had to register my classes. That's been going fucking good. I fucking got off track. I'm sorry. But yeah, I found niggas who like to do shit, which is cool, you know? And my roommates are great people. I mean, you know, I have some issues with cleaning and things like that, you know? So I wish we just cleaned more. That's one thing. But maybe I'm autistic and just like cleaning house. But I just like a clean house, and I feel like we don't clean it as often as we should, man. It's kind of an issue. But yeah, man. So I found those friends, you know. I found my friends that like to do shit. It's awesome. It's great, you know. I feel pretty accomplished with that. And then I finally found like a girl, man. I've been talking to this girl for about like 2 months now. And she's really pretty. And this is like my first type of not girlfriend. I wouldn't call her my girlfriend per se, but I do spend a lot of time with her. I've been seeing her literally every week since since we started talking. So I see her pretty often. And you know, I have my own apartment now, so I get to have sex. It's the best. It's the fucking best, bro. I've been this is like my first girl that I have been talking to and like fucking with like that, because I've never really fucked with a girl like that, and it's pretty cool, man. And it's glad to have a girl that fucks with me and I fuck with her, and you know, I'm glad it's working out so far. I'm hoping I don't get dropped or anything. I don't think that'll happen, knock on wood. But you know, if I do, you know what, it fucking happens, bro. I got my shit in, bro. I ate my pussy, man. I got my fucking sex in. I got what I wanted, bro. It's crazy because, like, I'm getting all I want now. You know what I mean? The next goal is just to get the fuck out of school, man, and get the fuck out of California, man. If I can get out of California, start working, and just start fucking living, you know, meeting people and doing that shit, just living outside of work, of school, I just can't wait for that shit, man. You know, I would say that this semester was, I wouldn't say this semester was as fun as last semester per se, but I've experienced a lot this semester, man. I went to San Francisco, dog. I went a couple places with my homies, man. We went to Point Reyes. Went to a lot of cool places, you know, and I experienced things, been hanging out with them, was smoking, still smoking all the time. And then I met fucking the girl in like February. And ever since then, it's just been, time's been going by like that. And I've just been getting shit in, man. And the next goal is just pass all the classes. I got 3 C's right now. I got 3 C's and a B. Scratch that. 4 C's and a B. God damn. Well, actually, no. 3 C's and a B, because I don't know what my last grade is in fucking English, because she has that shit locked. But I know I definitely failed that motherfucker, bro. I definitely failed that shit, dog. But yeah, man, I think mentally, my mental headspace is a lot better. You know, I know back home it's gonna go completely to shit. I'll definitely make another video back home. But, you know, out here, I think I have I guess you can consider a base. I mean, I feel lonely at times, man. I really do. I've been meaning to make a video for a minute. I do feel lonely at times, man. But I think I just need to find some fucking hobby or some shit to do while I you know, I'm out here, because I have hella free time. I need to work, bro. Fuck, my money's been going down. I need to fucking work so badly, man. But I need to find a hobby for sure, dog. I told myself I would start making YouTube videos, but I don't really have enough to talk about, man. I mean, I could talk about music, man, but I think for now, I'm gonna just keep uploading YouTube videos whenever. I wanted to make a podcast, but fuck that. That's too much production work. And so making YouTube videos like this is like the easiest way for me, because it's like I could just fucking talk. I could just talk and yap and not feel fucking obligated to stop talking, and I feel like I could just fucking say how I feel, you know. Yeah, going back home is gonna really suck, man. It's gonna really suck. I don't have a baby girl back home. I was literally like, I texted this one girl that I was talking to. I went on like 2 dates with, and she was into me. But then I came back here, you know. And then I hit her up today. I'm like, yo, I come back in 2 weeks. And she was all like, I'm talking to somebody. I'm like, what? I'm like, so that means you're single, you know? And she was like, not happening, bruh. Dude, I swear to God, I was gonna tell that girl to kill herself, without a doubt. Okay, that may sound like some bullshit nigga shit, but like, dude, look. Maybe that's me being salty, but I don't know, man. I think sometimes women just bring that side out of you, you know? Some things a woman could do or say will just make you mad and just bring out a certain side on you, you know? And it really sucks, man. But yeah, that girl really, like, I get it, you know, she's talking to somebody right now, but I think the way she texted that was a little disrespectful. And you know, I could have crashed out. I could have told her to kill herself for sure. I could have said some mean shit and would have got blocked and would have been like, oh well, nigga, I'm still fucking with a girl up here. I don't care, you know? But I didn't. You know why? Because, you know, it was the better thing to do to not say that, you know, because then that just makes me look like the fucking bad guy, you know? But It's how I felt, man. I was like, man, fucking kill yourself, nigga. Fuck you. You know? Maybe I'll get fucking demonetized, but I don't care, bro. I'm saying that shit. And I've been really into politics recently, man, because I realized urban planning is a political thing. And I would consider myself a Democrat for sure. Because I don't know, man. I just think that that the right and Republicans, I don't think they'll ever be for black people, you know? And everything they do, it just seems to be against black people, man. And as a black person myself, I just can't stand for that, dog. I get, okay, I get if a nigga wants to be like Republican and shit and think like, I can understand the Republican ideology, you know what I mean? But I can understand from a perspective as a minority that you could say things like, oh, you just gotta work your way up and shit like that. But, you know, I don't think it's that easy. I don't think, not everybody is put in a situation where they could do that, you know? And if you try to explain that to somebody who doesn't have that same experience and doesn't, you know, have that same empathy to understand, like, oh, okay, man, you know, I could see why black people have higher crime rates and things like that, you know? That's one of those little dog whistle things that niggas like to throw out talking about black people and shit. And I don't know, man. It's just being black, it's like, it's something you think about like all the time. Well, me personally, I think about my identity all the time wherever I go, you know what I mean? And it's crazy that some people just don't think about it at all, you know? But that's just how I was raised and growing up, is I was supposed to, my parents told me to be concerned about, you know, where you're going. And you always care about how many black people are around, because if there's not enough of your people around, you don't feel comfortable, you know? And in this country, man, so much racism, so many bad things happen, and you just gotta, I don't know, you just gotta like understand that everybody goes through their struggles, man. And hating on somebody else is just not a cool way to go through life. Granted, I did just say that I wanted to tell that girl to kill herself, but look, I only said that because I don't know, why not? If I told that bitch to kill herself just to get a reaction out of her and just get blocked, who cares? I see why niggas rage bait, bro, because they like that interaction, man. But yeah, I think the right just lacks the moral empathy, and I think they also lack just the respect for black people. I don't think they like African Americans, you know? Most people, I think a lot of Republicans aren't very, how should I say this, bro? Aren't very fond of minorities. And personally, I don't like that. And I don't think I could ever become a Republican, bro. But that's just the way I see it. And I just see, like, yeah, man, it's just not a party that I think is welcoming to me, and I don't think I could ever join it, in my opinion. And that's to be blatantly honest. I can't say that I'm a centrist or anything like that, you know. I guess maybe I could listen to a few Republican talking points, but that doesn't mean I'm a complete Democrat either, man. I mean, I'm a Democrat for sure. I'll always vote blue, but that doesn't like mean that I'm okay with all the identity politics they're pushing me, because I think that because the left pushes so many identity politics, it pushes away white people or just people in general, you know, conservative right side, man. And I guess you can't just call the right. I guess you could say the right and conservatives are the same, man. I don't have the conservative mindset, dog. I'm just not about that. I'm not about that life, man. And a lot of that conservatism comes from religion. And as I've gotten older, I began to question religion and things like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, man. It's just, I feel like religion is just like used as an excuse to control people a lot of the times, Don't get me wrong. People, there are truly some good Christians out there, and there are truly some good people that are true to their faith. But me personally, all I could go by is what I've seen, what I've experienced, and things like that. And I think that Christianity pushes fear onto people in the most extreme ways. And I feel like it's just such a I think it's such a divisive tool. Christianity is such a divisive tool that people use, that connects itself to politics and connects itself to the mind of the people, and basically, like, when you're like religious, bro, like when you're a Christian, of course you believe what the Bible teaches you, and you believe your preacher and things like that. And of course that could preach some good things, like being empathetic and things like that, which is what the fucking Bible said, what Jesus said, man. But I think once you start turning it into trying to push things like anti-abortion and things that could be turned into political things, like just the anti-abortion stuff, and what else could be fucking pushed? Oh, fucking homosexuality and shit like that, man. I think when you start saying things like that, then that's when you start to lose me with the religious stuff, man. Because, like, now you're actively, like, pushing somebody out of your religion that you want to be all-inclusive, if that makes sense. Like, fucking Christian, like, if you ask like a Christian nigga, they're gonna say they hate gay people and shit like that. And it's like, whoa. If you're a Christian person, right, you're supposed to love everybody, no? You're supposed to want people to fucking, I don't know, man. I just think that religion could just be taken to the extreme sometimes. And I feel like when we take religion to that extreme, especially how we do in America, I think it's kind of scary. And I think it's not kind of scary, super scary, man. Don't get me wrong, bro. Like, I've been to church my whole life, and I've been, in the choir before and shit like that. And Christianity is not that fucking bad, dog. It's cool. It's good for people that need it for that fucking, for the ethic, for the fucking ethic and morality part, when people read that Bible and read that, they feel a specific way, and they feel like, oh man, this message is so powerful. But I think when you take advantage of that and use people's religion as a way to influence political decisions and to just fuck people over financially as well. They don't tax on fucking churches, dog. Them churches got a lot of fucking money, man. And I think they say they ask for money and use it under the guise of this is going to the Lord, you know. But I don't know, man. I think if you're too religious, that's a little spooky to me, man. I know those people, they seem, I don't know, man. When somebody's too religious, man, they're always happy. They're always talking about the Lord and shit like that. And you know, it could spook a nigga out sometimes, man. It could spook a nigga out. Like when I was a little kid, seeing people like dance, like, man, going to black church was crazy. Seeing motherfuckers run back and forth and jump up and down, talk about they had the Holy Spirit in them and shit. I was like, Lord, have mercy, man. That shit is crazy, you know? But then it's like you can't doubt motherfuckers that live like that, because if you're indoctrinated in that shit, if your whole family is Christian, you go to church, you know, that could either do two things to you. That can either push you into the direction of becoming one of them and being like that, or push you into the opposite direction and completely hating it, man, and feeling horrible because your religion says this and makes you feel like a specific way, man. And that's why with me, I feel like, you know, Christianity is cool, but a nigga like me is a free spirit. I'm a free spirit, man. I'm not afraid to say it, you know. And I think that I slowly moved away from that, from the church, and slowly just started realizing that when I live in this fucking world, man, there's only one thing I know that I could trust. And that's fucking me and how I feel, bro. And so I could believe, I think what gets me with the Christianity shit, man, is like, you know, there's heaven and there's hell. You know, if you do right, you can go to heaven. If you do wrong, you go to hell, right? You commit a certain sin, you go to hell, right? And you're burned off for eternity, right? And that's just supposed to scare you. And you know, personally, I don't like that at all. I don't like that they force two only options that you could have of either being a fucking, you either going to heaven or hell. Those are only the two options you have. And it's like, nobody's fucking perfect, you know? Everybody commits a fucking sin, my nigga. In the Bible, they wrote, thou shalt not lie. Every person in their fucking life has lied, bro. And you're telling me, okay, I'm going to hell now? You know? So then you end up living, if you don't want to go to hell, now you're living in this fear, nigga stressing like, oh man, fuck, I'm gonna go to fucking hell if I don't fucking act like this. And then out of that fear, you act a specific way, you know? And that's horrible. That's horrible, in my opinion. That's absolutely abhorrent, bro, abhorrent. It's like, why should fear be a guise for you to act a specific way, you know? I think as an intellectual, as an individual yourself, you should figure out what's morally right or wrong without having to use religion as a way to make you act a specific way, you feel me? And I don't know, I just feel like religion and conservatism just pushes specific values onto to people that I just don't like. I just think that religion is too judgmental, man. And being judgmental has never helped a single fucking person. And I just don't like it, man. I just don't like it, bro. I don't like to hate on gay niggas. I don't like putting women in a specific place. I just don't like that shit, man. And that's the cultural part of fucking Republican stuff. If we get into the fucking economic and policy part about it, you know, privatization of things and things like that. I just think that it's like, if you do things like privatizing healthcare like we do right now, it's private already. If you privatize like school and things like that, then that leaves, you know, a specific set of people out of society. You know what I mean? Like, if you privatize everything, like everything privatized, it's gonna be a fucking hellhole. It's gonna be a shit show, you know, especially in America, man. Just because, like, I don't know, maybe because niggas have only been free for what, 50 years? It's a crazy thing to think about. When you really put it into perspective, man, it's like, black people have only been free for 50 years. Scratch that. Since 1965. That's when Jim Crow ended. 1965. That's when the fucking Civil Rights Act was passed and shit. Can you fucking believe that? Can you fucking believe that, bro? Niggas who lived back then in Jim Crow era are still alive to this day. That shit only goes back like a generation or two. You know? So the fact that, like, people say shit about black people and us being just, like, bad and just, you know, all the racist shit they say, it's crazy to just, you know, say that and not know history. I think what happens is people go off of shit and they don't have like a empathetic bone in their body, and they don't think about, you know, maybe the years of segregation and slavery could have an effect on the generations of, you know, people. You know what I mean? And I think you can do a great representation of that if you look at the current demographics in America, right? You got white, Hispanic, black, and Asian. Most black people, a high proportion of black people, still live in the South. Most black people still live in the South, where what? Slavery was. Where what else was? Segregation. You know? And oh man, enough time has passed. Black people should be gone by now. No. It's still a majority of black. Why? Because not enough time has fucking passed, bro. Not enough time has passed for us to really see a change. Like, don't get me wrong. We have seen a great change. I think black people have done amazing things. And our culture is up here right now. I think if you put all of the races in the... Okay. If you had to put races in the fucking world, right? You would put African Americans and their culture right up here. Right? Not Africans and all that shit, but African Americans specifically, I think you would put them up. Why? Because if you look at the current fucking culture right now, like in terms of music, it's rap. It's always something black that black people have done or started that gets taken and it gets put in the mainstream, you know? And not even that, I just think that when you think of black people, most people associate black people with being cool. And why is that? I don't know. I have to do more research on it, you know? But that's just how it is, man. I know I've been jumping from thing to thing to thing, but my mind is just racing, man. And I'm just putting out thoughts to make you think, you know? And of course, a lot of what I say is just me repeating talking points or, you know, me actually knowing shit, you know. But yeah, man, it's just like, I don't know, dog. Going back to religion, man. I just think religion, okay, here's my final stance. I think religion is a great but yet harmful thing that we have in our society. I think when you have religion at the forefront of our politics, you know, I think that's when you start to fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, Europe doesn't do it like we do. America is fucking crazy with the politics, man. We're crazy with pushing religion and politics together. You know what I mean? And, you know, I was just watching, I'm saying all this because I just watched a documentary, and it documented like religion in the South, you know? And I was just looking at it and I'm like, God damn, man, that's just so creepy and crazy, man, because it's like, if you were to talk to somebody who's a Christian like that, you know, and really get into like the deeper reasons to why they fucking chose to become as religious as they did, you know, there's a couple reasons, man. And the first reason is always fucking they were grown up with that shit, you know. And the second reason is like somebody has gone through something in their life happened, they went through something, and they saw religion as a way to get out of that, you know, right? But, and that's great that they found their way out and they have a new mindset and are like that. But look, listen, I think that when religion takes a creepy, almost like fucking cult-like turn and indoctrinating turn, that's when I don't like it, man. Like I said earlier, when they start hating on Muslims, you know, or hating on people that, when your religion hates on other people because they don't believe in that same religion, and you believe like, oh, they're all going to hell because they don't believe that, then that's an issue. That's a huge issue in my opinion, you know? And all I'm saying is, how can we be so certain about all of this? And how can we push this specific thing so fucking far to the point where we have whole institutions, whole fucking just straight institutions surrounded on it, you know? I don't know, man. I think sometimes religion could just be taken too far. And I think people put religion on that forefront so that they don't have to think for themselves, you know? Because I feel like if I went up to somebody right now, somebody who's like a devout Christian, was like, you really think there's just a heaven and a hell? You know? Do you really think there's no middle ground? And then have to hear them justify their religion. That's when, you know, because when I was growing up, that was always one of those topics where you're just like, religion you're not supposed to talk about, bro, because people take that shit super seriously, man. And yeah, it's just so crazy how yeah, you know what, honestly, religious studies would be kind of cool. I feel like religious studies would be pretty cool, like studying religion and shit. And it's crazy because that's another thing I would want to study, along with like urban planning and history and shit. That's all cool shit, man, and geography. And I don't know, man. I just think those are interesting things that I love to learn. I'm sorry I'm sounding like an idiot, man. but thoughts are just coming and going. But I may have to continue in another video. I'll probably have to drop another video some other time. I'm 35 minutes into this one. Woo-wee. That's a long time. But hey, I think everybody needs to get like their thoughts and their opinions and feelings out, man. I just think the politics and religion stuff, those are two things that have really been on my mind. I've just been thinking about. And yeah, bro. I just wanted to share it because it's like my little manifesto. It's how I feel type shit, you know? Yeah. Because another thing was, I was talking to this girl. Like, she was pretty, like, Asian girl, half white, half Asian. She was cute. But, you know, I had to drop her, man. I had to drop her. Because, she was super religious. And it was turning me off heavy. And it just wasn't my thing, bro. I think that was like the main factor. I couldn't stick with her. She was too religious, dog. And like she didn't like smoking weed, and I smoke every day. And she wasn't cool with that. Immediately get the fuck out, you know? I love weed so fucking much. I'll smoke that shit every day. Man. If a book fucking tells me that I can't have sex and I can't indulge in what I want, I have to be a little bitch just because somebody else told me to? Fuck that. Just because if I do it this way, I can go to heaven? Fuck that, dog. Fuck that, man. I believe if you restrict yourself that much, then there may be an issue with you, man. There's an issue with you. Because you could have fucking sex, you could do drugs, as long as you have it in fucking moderation and you're getting your shit right, man. But, yeah, I was talking to this girl. She was just too religious, bro. What got me was I was talking about, like, yeah, I go to the spot and hang out with my homies, man. And when I say the spot, I didn't want to mention smoking to her because she's not cool with that. But I go to my spot to smoke. This girl says she goes up to her spot with her journal and writes in her journal and reads her Bible. My dick has never gotten more soft in my life, bro. And she was like low-key thick, bro. And you know, it pains me because like she was just a nice, genuine girl, but because she got indoctrinated into that Christianity, man, and you know, went to church, went to Bible study, all that shit's been going to a private religious school for years on end, since she's been a little kid. I just think that, man, that's just a turnoff, dude, and that's just not something I'm into, man. I love free spirits, man. I love free thinkers. Man, I just want a bitch to travel the world with, nigga. That's all I need. If I could just find a bitch to travel the world and see new shit and just fucking experience life with, you know, that would be awesome. And you know what, man? I was thinking about it. I said I was going to end the video because I'm hungry, but no, fuck that. I'm speaking on real shit right now. You know, I was thinking about it, man. And I was thinking, I think what my goal is, listen up. This may sound crazy, but listen. I think if I just fucking locked in, finished college, went back home, saved up some money, applied to a job, and then moved away somewhere, I think after college, if I did that and then just found my person, found my baby girl, and we go from there, that would be awesome. That's the ideal. But listen, The other option is, look, I am in my 20s, bro. If I could just be fucking free range, fucking out there, traveling, going places, fucking living, having the time of my life, seeing new shit. If I could just do that single, not have to worry about kids, just go out and live fucking life. If I could do that and have a stable, steady income, oh, that's the dream, bro. That's the dream. But look, I will have to fucking lock the fuck in. Cause look, I'm graduating I'm graduating college at 22. I'm staying the next year. I'll be 22, right? I have 5 years, bro. 5 years to be young, happy, single, free, dummy drugs, living life, fucking bitches, making money, doing all that shit. I could do it all. I'll be young enough to do it all, man. I have 5 years. Once I hit 27, that's when I look for a wife. 27, I have to get a wife, bro. Because look, after that, man, bro, once you start hitting your 30s, bro, niggas start having kids. You're hitting unk stage, bro. You hit unk stage when you hit 30. 30's a big blow to your shit, man. Because now you're not young anymore. You're getting older. And that's when you have to like fucking settle down and have a kid, bro. And find a wife, man. Because if not, you're gonna see everybody else do that shit around you. And you're gonna be fucking lonely, bro. You know? And man, I want a kid. I want to pass my knowledge on to a little nigga, man. You know? If I have a son, he'll be the same height as me. He'll be a beast. And I want to just have like, I want a son so I can have something to be like fucking proud of. Be like, that's my fucking kid, you know? But I don't want to have my ideals be pushed onto that kid. You know, that's the big thing. I don't want that to happen. I don't want to push my fucking ideas and how I am onto this kid. You know, I just want him to get the best life I could give him, you know. That's what I want to do, man. And who knows when that'll happen, but it'll happen eventually, man. But yeah, as of now though, you know, it's my time to live free and happy, man. 5 years. 5 years until I have to fucking lock in and try to get like an actual like wife and settle down and get a stable income, have kids, and just find a place to settle down and chill out, man. You know? And honestly, bro, that's if I find a fucking wife, bro. You know, I don't want to jump at the first opportunity either, man, because you have a kid and then that you fucking don't get along with the bitch and you guys fucking, you know, you're cooked, man. You're cooked. And I can't be single as like a 30 or 40-year-old man, because once you're single at that age, you're cooked, bro. You're so fucking cooked. Because unless you got some friends, bro, then you're kind of like on your own, man. Because you're at that stage where niggas can't hang out no more, bro. Once you're in like your late 30s, early 40s, you can't hang out like you used to anymore, bro. You have to deal with fucking getting old, you know, and your health problems. You got to deal with fucking just staying alive, man. But I think what really must hurt is just like the social aspect, man. You know, you gotta remember you're not young anymore. You can't hang out with them niggas no more, dog. You can't hang out with them. My roommate is 18. I'm 20. He be calling me Unk. And it's like, fuck. Once you get old, you gotta come to terms with you're not the young nigga no more, man. You can't do what you used to do. And that's gonna hurt me. And you know what's gonna hurt me the most is the baby girls, bro. Oh my gosh, man. When I hit 30, dude, when you get old, bro, you can't have a hot young bitch in your fucking, you can't have a hot young bitch when you're in your like late 30s, bro. I mean, you know what? You could do it, man, but I think when you're that age, dude, the generational gap is so large that you just may not even be able to connect with them like you thought you would, you know? And that's why I'm taking advantage of my life right now, because I felt like the rest of my youth, the last 20 years before, you know, before 2024, I feel like I don't think I was living life how I should have been, man. I was living life not till its fullest, dog. I was jerking off every day, smoking weed, and playing video games, and not going out, man. And just working. And that shit sucked. And I was going to school, you know, but I wasn't having the same, I wasn't experiencing life like I should have, you know. I think everybody should be living life, man. And so, getting old is just my irrational fear. Because no, I don't fear death, man. I don't fear death at all. I don't. But what I do fear is the feeling of not being able to do what you used to be able to do. I think that must hit hard, man. That hits hard for sure. You know, that really must hit hard, man. Getting old, not looking the same. I know that just fucking sucks. And I don't think it gets any easier, like, when you're chilling and you meet people that are way younger than you and you're like, fuck. Like, if I'm chilling and I start working with a nigga who graduated in fucking 28, if I meet a nigga who was born in like 2012 or like 2018 or some shit like that, and they're damn near the same, not the same age, but close to my age, and I have to reflect on that and be like, fuck, I'm getting old. That's the worst, man. I think that's the worst. And I think what really is the killer is when you hit your 30s and you start seeing people have kids. It's over, bro. When you start seeing people getting married, inviting you to their wedding, they stop hanging out with you because they're like, oh man, I have to take my kid there, I have to take my kid here. That's when it must hit you, man. And then when you see your kids grow old, that's when it really hits you, bro. I think when you're a parent, you're okay with being old, bro. I think if I did everything I needed to do in my youth, and I reflect on times like now and think, oh, that was the best. I know I will. But if I do that, you know, I'll feel satisfied. If I can have my wife and kids in a decent little house, man, and be able to reflect on the old days and be like, man, that was a great time, but you know, I'm older now, I have kids to take care of. I'm okay with that. But look, that's the dream goal, is to have my one or two kids, two kids, not one. I'm an only child, it sucks. 2 kids. I have my 2 kids with my wife, man, and I try to make the best out of my life, man. That's what I want my olderness to be, which is what everybody wants. Everybody wants that shit. When I hit that age, that's what I want it to be, you know? Because if not, here's the other thing I want to do. Look, if I could just stack bread, just work, live that single life, stack bread, man. It's going to be lonely. But look, if I could just stack up all my money like that, you know, be able to afford a nice place to live and live comfortably, you know, be able to travel when I want to, you know, try to make friends, meeting people at bars or doing whatever, and just chilling and smoking weed, traveling, living that single life, bro, you know, that would be the shit. I'm not gonna lie, that would be the shit. I would fucking love that. But I think what would happen is I would get lonely for sure, bro. You need that wife, bro. Cause if not, man, nah, man, that's just the worst. But all right, man. 51 minutes in. I guess you could say this was a podcast, nigga. Fuck, my shit longer than a Danny Brown episode. But yeah, man, I just think that was just some shit I had to put out, dog. And yeah, bro. All right, man. I'll catch y'all later, dog. I gotta go in the house, man, and eat some food. Peace.